This video I want to talk about my two biggest takeaways from Jim Kwik's book Limitless. I actually read this last year, but I just was thinking about this book today and I thought I'd share because I remember having two big takeaways. I had multiple takeaways, but I think it's telling that over a year later, the two main things I remember. So the first thing that I took away is that your emotional state has a very large influence on how much you get out of a given activity. So what do I mean by emotional state? I mean how you are feeling and how clear your mind feels and also how clear your mind feels. And it's largely influenced by how your body feels as well. So if you've been sitting for 10 hours straight and your body has been hunched over and you have been breathing really shallowly and you've eaten a lot of junk food and you've been scrolling through social media, your brain is going to not feel very clear. Your brain is going to feel very slow. It's going to feel very lethargic. It's going to feel almost agitated and distracted. So then if you were to take that brain and go and try to take a test, I remember studying a lot for the GRE, the graduate record examination. If you were to go take that test after doing that, even if you were really brilliant, like even if you were a really good test taker, you would probably score pretty poorly, right? Now, if you were to wake up and go for a 30 or 40 minute walk, maybe a light jog, and meditate and eat a high protein breakfast that's whole foods and drink a lot of water, maybe not too much water because you might need to go to the bathroom during the exam, you don't want to do that, but drink a good chunk of water and then take that test, you would do a lot better, right? Because your mind is going to be a lot sharper, right? So it's just this concept that your emotional state largely influences how much you get out of a given activity. So it is never a bad idea. My takeaway, again, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm just one person's opinion and I'm just sharing my self-improvement journey. I might change my mind later, but right now, I think it is never a bad investment to upgrade your state because as soon as you upgrade your state, you start thinking more clearly and more creatively. And then whatever you do, you get more out of it, right? So things like cold showers, things like meditation, any sort of exercise, eating whole foods, sleep, taking 20-minute nap if you're fried in the middle of the day, yoga, a sauna, whatever it is, just like you name the thing. You can think of things that make you feel good. Eating some fruit, a whole bunch of fruit, drinking a protein shake. There's all these different things that immediately upgrade your state. Calling a friend if you're feeling down, whatever it is. That's another thing, at least for me, is like, how are you feeling? Like if you're feeling sad, it would be hard to do really well on a cognitively demanding activity. But if you're feeling good, then it's easier, right? So reading is another one, so it's always, I know I'm a believer you have to sit down and do the work, but if you sit down and or at least this is what I tell myself, I sit down and I'm like really struggling to focus. Sometimes I'll try to push through, but sometimes I realize, okay, I need a state change. So I need to go take a cold shower. I need to go take a 20-minute nap. I need to go for a jog. I need to go for a walk and talk to Vanessa or talk to a friend over the phone or go for a walk with a friend and then come back at the activity, because if I just sit there and keep attacking it, it's not really going to work. And I remember learning this. I already kind of knew this because I was a software engineer for over 6 years, and I'd get stuck like all programmers do, and then I would just catch myself just first maybe thinking really clearly, trying to do stuff, and then sometimes I'd catch myself just chucking code at the screen trying to see if it works, and that rarely worked. What always worked is, okay, let's go for a long walk and then come back, a 30-45 minute walk, come back, take a cold shower and then take a look at it, or let's grab a cup of tea, play some piano for 20 minutes and then take a look at it, and then all of a sudden I have this fresh mind and I solve it. or I have a better chance of solving it. Or you sleep on it, and the next morning you're fresh and you solve it. So if you're a software engineer watching this, you can totally relate. And so I always kind of knew this, but Jim Kwik's book really put it into perspective, really made it clear for me. So that's the first one. The second one is that the second biggest takeaway that I have from his book is that I'm nowhere even near where my brain's capacity. I'm nowhere near how strong my mind can be, because Jim Kwik really inspired me, right? He legitimately talks about how your brain, you can have a superhero brain, and his brain, he talks about he himself sustained a severe brain injury. He fell off a chair. Somebody swiped a chair when he was a kid, while he was standing on it, and he slipped off the chair and smashed his brain into a radiator. And so he had some serious brain damage. And he himself, through managing his state, through doing mind-building activities, through constantly exercising and training his mind, is legitimately able to. He's pulled off crazy feats with his mind. One thing he was been able to do is he had to give a talk on a book that he hadn't read before, and he sped read it in 3 hours, completely gathered all the knowledge that in that book, and was able to deliver a talk on that book. That's insane, you know what I mean? And so, and there's just many other things. He's got a lot of memory athlete, he's got all this memory, really impressive memory stuff he can do. And this guy sustained a major brain injury. So I'm here and I can read, and when I'm reading a lot, I can really lock in. But sometimes I'll read 2 pages or 3 pages, and I'll catch my mind wandering off, And that's better. Before I would have trouble even reading a paragraph, 5 years ago. But now, at least, now if I'm really into the book, I can read for 10 or 15 or 20 pages straight. But sometimes I'll just catch myself 2 pages, and then I'm back. But it made that, just listening to his story made me realize I'm not even close to my capacity. So it's pretty exciting to keep training my mind and see what happens. So I thought I'd share, again, to recap, my 2 takeaways from his book is 1, upgrade your state as often as you can, and your emotional state really influences how much you get out of a given activity. And 2, you're probably very far away from your potential. So and any limitations you have over what your mind can do is probably just in your mind. So your ceiling on what you're able to do is probably made up by you, and it's not even close to where it actually is. So I thought I'd share. If you like this content, do leave me a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it at least. And I will talk to you all in the next one. All right, take care.
Let me out cause I'm feeling still crazy. I've been in and out of good moods lately. More and more I run, the more the shit chase me. Holds me down like some ankle weights that I can't see. Can't see. Said it holds me down like some ankle weights that I can't see. Let me out cause I'm feeling still crazy. I've been in and out of good moods lately. Don't feed me.